Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
The season is over. We don't mean this is season of Excuse My Grandma. We mean the Palm Beach season.
For us, it's over. I mean, other people will stay here through. A lot of people stay through Memorial Day, Kim, and even beyond.
But when people refer to the season
is really through Easter. That's
November through Easter.
Yeah, no, not even November. I think it's more the height of the season in Florida is February, March, and then whenever Easter falls.
Mm-hmm. So that means I am out of Grandma's apartment, back in New York City in my own apartment, and Grandma is also coming to New York, but we will not be roommates until Florida once again.
Exactly. But we were very busy this week packing up your clothes, getting all the things ready to go back to the city, which was always eventful, going into that closet, which is a weekly event on our TikTok. So now we had to do it for real and really get the things out of the closet into the suitcases and ready to go back north.
Yeah, we did donate some of the stuff that we didn't want to take back with us up north. But more or less, it fit into like a box and a suitcase. It wasn't crazy.
No, and that was it. You added a few things down here, so there's always a little bit more going up the other way. I don't know where you're going to fit it into your closets.
That's the problem.
In the city, you're going to have to put a rack up someplace. But whatever, it's done. And
is there like one or two tips you can give people for like spring cleaning or like purging of the closet?
Well, I think really, and I do this myself, so it's not something I don't practice. If I have not literally worn something, whether it be a blouse or a sweater or a pair of pants, within 2 seasons, I will then put it aside and either donate it or give it to a friend of mine who might be my size, who might want it, because I find that a lot of times things, your eye just changes, and especially with us when we're on camera so much, we sort of get tired of the outfits we wear.
That's
so we're really constantly changing tops, especially, so that becomes an issue. And they're perfectly good, so somebody else it'll have a second life with somebody in somebody else's home.
And with spring cleaning in general, like,
well, I do the windows. I have all the windows washed.
But
always.
Don't you do that always? Like, doesn't matter.
No, it's spring and fall.
Oh, okay.
Spring and fall, because it's a big production. They have to go outside and clean the outside and the inside, and it's really, they have to cover all the furniture. Do you have to
request that? They don't just do it?
No, you have to. It's a separate thing. You have to pay for it and arrange for the timing when it's appropriate for you.
I've never in any of my apartments, like in my rental building in New York, hired a cleaner for the
but
window.
I think they do it automatically.
Oh, so they do
the
for
outside.
A lot of places.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait, actually, I doubt
most
they
rentals,
even go up to that many floors, though.
Oh, I bet they do. You just don't realize it.
Yeah, maybe. I would realize
your
that
windows
if a guy
are always clean.
Yeah, but when would a guy be hanging outside my window? I think I would have noticed that.
Oh, maybe when you're out.
Maybe.
When you're out strolling on the avenue.
Yeah. Let's think back to the season and talk about some of our, highlights and while we were spending time together here in Palm Beach, what sticks out to you?
Well, I think some of the winter parties that you had to dress for were particularly funny. We had to go through a white party, and then we had to do, we did several theme evenings that you had to go to.
Mostly December, January. I feel like when a lot of people around my age were here because of the holidays and stuff.
Well, I think it's always around Christmas time and New Year's.
Yeah, and that's when I was going on most of the dates down here too, because then it kind of like fizzled a little.
Well, because everybody goes back to work now. It's no longer thank heavens it's no longer COVID, so everybody goes back to their home base, and that's why you have to go back and forth, and you've been doing that. I mean, it's a little tough on you, and you've gotten used to how to pack in your wheelie and get right off the plane, which is very important. You can't check luggage when you're traveling back and forth a lot.
Yeah, it just takes too much time to wait on either end, and it's like your whole day.
And it's also this stress of maybe the luggage won't come out or maybe it will come out. I mean, I did buy those air tags that when we're planning a trip, we're going for business in May. I'm going to take them, and I hope you have one. If you don't, I have an extra one at home.
I don't have one.
All
Yeah.
right, I'll give you mine. You just
But I bought all these other things that I can honestly, maybe I'll make a thing on our Amazon storefront of all this stuff that I ordered from Amazon for the flight, like for flying, like all these great portable chargers and eye masks and things. So I'll share that later.
Yeah, but that's good. But what happens if they get lost? So that's why I have these air tags.
Well, no, they were like cheap though.
Oh, yeah, but
But
you
yeah.
still don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking no matter what. I mean, the situation with losing luggage is not good, and there's so much of it now because the airports are sort of so busy. So
Yeah.
we're not used to it, and they didn't hire back all the people in the support systems at the airports that they had prior to 2020. I think it's getting better now because flights are way up. They say travel is way up. I just read an article in the Wall Street Journal the other day that says that people are traveling, whether it be in Paris during the strikes, during the garbage, during all that. Flights were up, as well as in Israel during the issues when they were having the protest situation and some of the disturbances. It doesn't matter. Flights are still overpacked. So, which I'm glad. People are just getting on with their lives, and they just skirt around the issues in whatever city you are.
Yeah. And then what else? What other highlights did we have? I mean, we
We
got
had
a
lot
puppy
of
dog.
highlights.
We
Well,
got
you got a puppy dog. Your mom got a puppy dog, and you sort of got it like a half sister.
yeah. She's really like my bestie.
She's your bestie.
Millie.
Right. Well, we had a little trauma this week because she wasn't feeling well.
Yeah. Well, she
And-
got spayed.
Yeah, but you know what? That I don't even know if that was the problem. I think she had a reaction to something, or she ate something, and so you had to take her up to the animal hospital in North Palm
Yeah.
Beach this week. That was a bit of a trauma.
It was definitely traumatic. I couldn't stop crying, and you were like, "Pull yourself together."
Well, you have to pull yourself together because you gotta be strong for everybody around you. But the dog, thank heavens,
Yes.
everything is good.
Yes,
So all
the baby.
systems go. She's back to running around like a loony house again,
Yes.
which is good.
Yeah. And I let her sleep in my bed last night.
Oh gosh, that's a bad habit to let a dog get into because
She
then
had
they
a
want you
hard
to do
week.
this.
She deserved
Okay.
cuddles.
All right, okay, that sounds fair.
And I feel like it was definitely a busy season for work for us.
Oh, yeah.
For Excuse My Grandma, working with the brands that we were working with. We had a lot of fun videos to make with them.
A lot of very interesting experiences. It really
Yes.
was. We've had some wonderful people that we love working with. I mean, we really do. And they've been very kind to us back, and we're having a great time. And, we're looking forward to more of it.
Speaking of, what are you looking forward to doing when we are back in New York?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward just to walking on the streets of my beloved city, which I do adore, and maybe walking down, getting a Bergdorf salad on 58th Street, which is like a chopped chef salad, but it's got beets in it and all different kinds of
That's
things.
nostalgic of
I
you.
love it. I love it. And other people try to copy the salad, but somehow it doesn't taste the same. They must have a secret sauce.
Is that like
in the
Russian dressing or
It's
something?
Russian
Yeah.
dressing, but somehow you can make Russian dressing. It doesn't taste
Yeah.
like theirs. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to going to theater again. I can't wait. As much as I love the Kravis, and we've gone to several productions down here, which have been nice. I do miss Broadway, and I'm going to go over to Lincoln Center. I'm definitely going back to look at what's going on in the Met. I think a Japanese exhibition just opened, and I'm excited about that. And there's just so much in the city that I have missed. But you know what? I love Florida. It's been a wonderful. We've had it really is paradise. We have had
The weather was unreal.
I mean, unfortunately, the weather in Florida has been drought-like because we had no rain, and whatever storm crossed the country, it somehow missed the
Except for right now.
southeast. Well, this week it changed.
Yeah.
All good
Time to
things.
go home.
Well, all good things have to end. That's exactly right. So that was a part of what made winter also so wonderful because you really barely need it. I think there were 1 or 2 days in January where we put heavy sweaters on.
Oh yeah, actually there was a few cold
I think
weeks,
afternoon, right
but
around
it was still
New Year's.
sunny. It was just
But it was
cold.
still sunny. Exactly. We had no rain.
Yeah.
There was like zero rain the whole winter. There were actually warnings a couple of weeks ago that they might have forest fires down in Florida. I don't know what kind of forest. They're just palm trees. But I guess in areas that are thickly have some trees, they were warning people do not throw cigarettes out. You know, like what we typically have in different parts of the country. Florida usually doesn't have that.
Yeah. I feel like I am definitely excited for New York just to get back into like that momentum and groove of not having to like schedule all my friends in 1 week and then I'm back here and whatever. I can just like live like
a normal person.
like and see what comes my way. But at the same time, it's like I love walking around Florida and like the palm trees and the whole vibe. It's like really feeds into my daydream aesthetic, and the city sometimes it is magical but in a different way, so I have to like get on the
You
same
have to readjust.
exactly, but have good feelings about spring, summer. And
Well, I'm looking forward to the tulips. And if I don't get home soon, they'll be gone. That's my favorite thing in Manhattan is along Park Avenue from 96th down to 43rd Street. The middle of the park is all full of different colored tulips. It's so beautiful. For those people who visit the New York at this time of the year, mid-April to the end of April, you'll get a treat because the tulips here are actually, I went to Amsterdam to go look at the tulips many years ago with my husband, and they were gone already in April. So you're going to get it in New York in April and early May, and it really is a sight to behold. Usually the different blocks have different colors. So it really, it's a garden, and it's in the middle of tall skyscrapers. You have this beautiful color, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm sure they're not gone yet. I'll be crying if they are.
is that a fun date idea to like go and walk and see the tulips, or not really?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't
I'm trying
think so.
to be creative. I'm like, what can you, not that as a girl I feel like I'm rarely planning the dates anyway, but like, you know, are there fun activities besides going to a bar?
Well, I think there are plenty of outdoor activities. I think there are plenty of festivals that go along in Brooklyn, and certainly on the West Side, and going around the park area near where the island is. You know, at this time of the year, that's a beautiful walkway during the day if you happen to have a date during the afternoon. And I think just walking around the city in different neighborhoods, going to different museums, everybody's got new shows. The Guggenheim has a new show. The Met always has a new show. And certainly MoMA as well. So, you know, and the Whitney, which is right near you, is my favorite. Plus, it's got a delicious little lunch place there, too. So, but it's fun. And then walk on the High Line. This is the perfect time of year to be on the High Line. It's not too hot.
When was the last time you went to the High Line?
I was there, I guess, in the fall.
Oh,
I
okay,
walked
because
a
it's
little
very
bit.
busy.
Well, yeah.
Like you can barely walk. New York is so busy. Like
Yeah,
I feel like
it
the
is.
things that I'm used to being like, let's go do this. It's great. It's like it's too busy.
Well, maybe
even
you're
with
going to have to go up.
restaurants,
You
like-
know what? You might have to go up and go see the Cloisters, which is a great, the Rockefeller Museum up in, out of the city. You might have to just take a little car ride and do some.
So get out of the city to explore the
Yeah,
city.
well, to explore different parts of New York.
Yeah.
Not everything's centered around the island, Manhattan, even though I think it is.
TikTok videos of the week, the reactions that we got from everybody. We made matzo brie one day.
I thought, well, it was delicious for us.
Yes.
I mean, we enjoyed it.
Obviously, it's Passover.
It's Passover, and we were observing it, and it was very good. Kimmy likes it with jam. I like it straight up.
So there were a lot of
natural.
things actually that I like learned about what people like to put in theirs that we've never done.
Right.
Cottage cheese,
Yeah.
cinnamon and sugar. Like a lot of people
Well, say
said,
they make it for dessert. A lot of people make dessert out of it, so they make it on the sweet
why would
side.
you have eggs though in it?
Well, that's all right.
Well, because people were saying almost like with maple syrup, like a French toast kind of thing.
Yeah. And they could make it like a Sunday brunch type of event. I mean, nothing is as good as brioche bread with syrup. So we have to make it, we're pushing the matzah thing a little. It's good. Is it great? No.
Like challah French toast is always going to be better than matzah.
Exactly.
French toast.
Exactly.
The other thing we did was announce our partnership with Lingua Franca, which is a sweater company. They're hand stitched and by women in New York City, and we're donating our shares of the proceeds to City Meals on Wheels, which works to feed New York City's homebound elderly. And the ones we made they say "Excuse my grandma" and not my type on them. And we got a lot of really great feedback about that, people ordering them. So I can't wait to see people walking around in the sweaters.
We're all going to walk around with these "Excuse my grandma" sweaters. We're so excited. All right. And we also did a lot of other things, Kim, this week. I know that. We certainly walked around the Avenue. Some girl interviewed us on the Avenue wearing what we were wearing, which wasn't so terrific.
The Avenue is Worth Avenue for people.
Yes, for people who are not from this
which is
area.
Like the shopping. It's kind of like a Madison Avenue
or Rodeo Drive, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was funny. I didn't think anybody really cared what kind of perfume I wore, since I don't wear any down here. But it was interesting, and everybody down here sort of is looking forward to seeing what somebody else is wearing, because everything is outdoors. So and you're not wearing coats, so you see people's pretty prints or pretty sweaters and shirts, and it's very pleasant. It really is very nice.
Okay, Grandma Gail's headlines of the week.
Well, I'm not going to go into there are plenty of bad headlines, but we may as well talk about the things I enjoyed listening to this week. Was the Masters on Sunday, which we watched together, and which was great fun, because after 2 days of terrible tornadoes and storms in Augusta, they finally got a gorgeous Sunday, which really was beautiful. The sun was out. And the other thing, which on a sadder note, and I hate to bring up sad things when we're doing our podcast, but is the gun violence that we saw again in Nashville this past week, and with the children and getting killed, and then now just recently over the weekend with the bank incident. It's just terrible, and we have to do something about the gun laws, even though these were all legally bought guns. I don't know why people need guns at this point unless they're a policeman. I just don't know why we're not getting a handle on this, and we have to do something. We can't go on. The country is constantly mourning these wonderful children and adults, and we have to come to some kind of proper arrangement that people do not have possession of any arms unless they're really in law enforcement, as far as I'm concerned. But that was the sad part. But anyway, we had lots of other things that were nice happening, such as
you know what? I'll get back to you on that one.
Let's discuss what was nice.
Well, let's talk about maybe answering some of our listener questions from our Ask Grandma Anything. Okay, someone said, I'd like to meet some guys to date. I live in Italy and I'm 18. Any advice? Love you too, by the way.
Thank you very much. We love Italy, and you're 18, so don't worry about it. You will meet plenty of nice young men, and just keep your eyes open and do all the things you're doing now. You'll eventually meet the man of your dreams.
Yeah, I think also, like, you don't necessarily, as an 18-year-old, have to be thinking with the guys you go out with, is this my husband? And putting that kind of pressure. You can just say, are they making me happy? Are we having a good time? But I would say, obviously, always kind of date someone who you do take seriously. What's something that's splurge worthy and what items are not?
Okay, well, I think splurge worthy would be something in perhaps the handbag category. I mean, a wonderful handbag is always something that you keep forever. It's not something that you would use one season and throw out, unless it's a beach bag that you might end up throwing out. We've discussed that. If the vodka and the suntan lotion get on the beach bag, you're going to can it after one season. But a bag, certainly. I would almost say a coat of some sort if you live in a cold weather climate. A nice wool coat or even a down coat that you like.
Yeah, I've been wearing my same coats and same bags for 10 plus years.
What am I going to say? I think I'm wearing mine for like 45.
Yeah.
Not the coats, but the bags, certainly. So I think that's something to splurge on. Perhaps a watch of some sort.
Jewelry, yeah.
But you have to moderate it. You have to see what you really need, because today everything is so casual that you don't need to buy too much. One statement is more than enough.
Right. And you don't need like 10 necklaces that are
Right.
like super expensive.
Right. You can
Like,
layer inexpensive things and have a look.
Yeah, exactly.
Be a little creative.
What are your thoughts on high costs of weddings? Is it worth it, or is it better to just elope?
Well, I think that comes from different perspectives. I think, first of all, it has become exorbitant to get married in a venue, in any sort of venue.
I was watching a TV show the other day that was like, I think they make it such a whole dramatic thing because they want to make sure you don't do it again.
Well, that's probably that. Yeah, I don't know if you can afford to do it more than once.
Exactly.
I think it's according to how much you have that you want to spend. I really do. And I think it depends on the family's circumstances. If people are not in a position to have lavish weddings, you know what? It's all about you. It's not about the party. So have it in a small room with your clergyman or your friend who's performing the service, and just do it look beautiful, wear a pretty dress, have your groom dressed up in a handsome suit, and you know what? Have maybe dinner with the family or with some close friends. I think it really is, every wedding is individual, and we shouldn't put pressure on ourselves to be in debt forever, which a lot of families do. In India, they have weddings for 7 days, and people are in debt for their entire lives over getting their children married. So I don't approve of that. I think it should be within your what makes you comfortable. And if the two individuals are paying for it themselves, if they're older, and they might not want their families to pay, they might want to pay themselves. I think they have to also think about the finances. You don't want to be in debt over one evening. It can be very nicely done within a budget. You just have to be mindful that money doesn't grow on trees.
Best conversation starter.
Best conversation starter? I don't know, Kim. What do you think?
I mean, I struggle with this a ton. Like, I feel like that's always what I'm saying to you and like all my friends. What do I say? What should I say? Like, what? Like, okay, I'm gonna go over like what? Like, how do I say it? Like, that's always my thing.
Well, I think you certainly can say, what's your favorite activity outside of work? We all know you have to go to work, and once you've gotten over the idea with the man or the woman of where they work and what their profession or their work is, then you can say, what do you really love to do if you have an hour?
Well, I feel like that's getting into like deeper conversation, but like, how do you just go over and talk to someone like and start a conversation?
Oh, I don't know. It depends. Well, you guys are all in bars, so I guess you go over and you say, "Oh, I like what you're drinking. What is that?"
Yeah, honestly, I always was like, "Oh, whatever" with that one. But then I was like, you know what? No one ever, like, it always works. What's the problem with that? Like, you go over and you start talking to them, and like, I did that to somebody actually at a party, and it was fine. Like, I was like, but the thing is, you can't do it if it's like a glass of like a tequila soda, because it's like, but like I did it. A guy was holding like a drink that was like misting,
right?
And I was like, oh wow, like I want to get
interesting.
Yeah, something interesting. So it's harder when it's like tequila,
right?
But anything that you can like comment on,
that's not too sensitive. I think you can't go by and say, oh my gosh, your fly is open.
Why'd you decide to slick
your blouse is undone? I think you have to be a little politically correct.
I think your hair would look better down.
Yeah, I don't think we should get into these kind of conversations, but I think you have to do some kind of small little chatter.
Expecting my first in July.
Oh.
Tips keeping my relationship with my husband amazing.
Well, good luck to you. I think your relationship will be different. It'll always hopefully be amazing, but it's not the same way. Once a baby comes in and now you're 3, your sleep pattern becomes just awful for at least 3 months. So, you know what? Chill out for at least 3 months anyway. Don't worry about it. Your relationship will all get back to normal.
Okay, we have a bunch more questions, but I think we're going to answer some on social media. So check out our Instagram, Excuse My Grandma, and we'll answer the remainder on a future episode as well. 1950s movie of the week. Damn Yankees.
Well, because I forgot why. One of the other things this week was it's the opening of baseball, and all the teams are out there again in their cities. And I always feel the opening game is the beginning of spring. So enjoy it and catch your local team wherever you see them, and really watch Damn Yankees.
1958.
It's still terrific, and the music was wonderful, really wonderful. It's a very enjoyable movie. So enjoy it, and think pink for spring.
Okay, another great episode of Excuse My Grandma. Follow us on social media if you don't. Wherever you're listening right now, press 5 stars and leave a review, because that will be very helpful for us. And we will see you next week.
Bye.